So this is that EMERBU MK8 or Ultimate M4 I was working on. As I was building it, I kind of changed up some ideas and decided to make it more of a sniper blaster, right? So my younger son has been playing with gel blasters more, but he really only uses my nice bolt action sniper. So he kind of, I guess, inspired me to make a sniper blaster with this EMERBU Gen 8 receiver, Gen 8.5 receiver. So I've mentioned before, some of these EMERBUs, when they first came out, there were some issues with basically none of the components were bad. It was just that the motor didn't seem to sync well with the gear set and with the mag, with the drum mag. So we've done a couple things to this to correct that. But first off, EMERBU was aware of that. They pulled it off the market, so none of their blasters were available for about a month and a half. And they just re-released them, completely redesigned, and they're all working great. So as of like March 25th or May 25th, 2023, all the EMERBUs have been completely redesigned. You should not have any difficulties with them. And it seemed to be kind of hit or miss with initially as well. Not all of them were having these problems, but some people were. So that was really cool to see that EMERBU took it upon themselves to redesign it and to, come back out with a cool blaster. And you get a lot of blaster for your money with them. So anyway, check them out on Amazon. But let's talk about what I did here with this, okay? So this was what they're calling the Ultimate M4, or it's also called an MK8. And what I did was I basically made a long kind of barrel, outer barrel, to go, inside here, and that just helps lock it in place. I used a nice metal, so it already comes with a metal inner barrel, but I used a 450 millimeter long metal barrel from X-Force Tac, right? So it's got a nice long metal inner barrel on there that goes all the way to the threaded tip, which is right here. And then I put that fake suppressor on there just to give it even more, length, to make it look even more like a sniper rifle. And I mentioned I got a super good deal on a 6-pack of red spray paint on Amazon. And so I was doing with the red safety tip instead of the orange. I also went and I switched the spring out. So it comes with a 1.2 spring, which is somewhere between an M90 and an M95 if you use that sizing. And you will get a little bit difference. An M95 is slightly going to be a stronger spring than that 1.2. But I wanted to, again, push the limits on it, so I went to an M110. Now, if you're going to put an M110 in here, even though it does have an upgraded motor, it's got metal gears and everything, it is harder on the blaster, so be aware of it. That's kind of really pushing the limits on the Gen 8.5 from what I understand and from what my experts in Australia have told me as well. So be aware of that. But I went with, again, and it was an X-Force Tac USA M110 spring in there. So it's definitely going to be pushing, over, it gets up to 330 FPS, okay? Now, when you're going to push a blaster like this hard, when you've got that upgraded motor and you've got a big spring like that, using a better quality battery does make a difference. Now, I do talk about, obviously mAh is just capacity, right? So getting a bigger capacity doesn't really benefit other than longer play time, which is definitely cool, right? Longer runtime. But it does seem that there's different quality levels of blaster or of batteries, and if you're really pushing a blaster hard, using a better quality battery makes a difference. So whereas this 11.1 is certainly fine for, I've had no issues with it, up to M95 springs. This type has been fine. So this is kind of what I call like a generic, right? So you can buy these on Amazon. Usually they're in 2 packs, around 20 to 25 bucks. Definitely still a good 11.1 battery for, your more typical Gen 8 build. Now, what'll happen is it'll still work with this. It just seems to drain it really fast, okay? So if you want to buy a better battery, you go with, like, again, this is from X-Force Tac USA, with these, I believe it's Bosley, so Bosley, I don't know exactly how you're going to say it, but you can get this brand, and they make it in a bunch of different sizes. And again, X-Force Tac USA. A better blaster battery for sure, and it does have that 2-pin JST connection, which is what's standard on this type of gearbox. And then another thing you can do, and this is what I used to do before these were all readily available, was I would make a little jumper cable like this, and then I had some nice big batteries like this, which originally I just had from my kids' RC cars, and they have that type of plug on them. So going with one of these type of better batteries works. Now, this doesn't fit in most stocks, but however, this has a custom stock on it, and it's got room for that type of battery. So I just need to go ahead and use one of these. You can use this, like I said, it just drains it really fast. So that leads to this. I got this other custom stock on here, right? So you got a lot of room for a battery. It just flips open. Put an extra pad on the stock to make it even longer again too, because I thought that was cool. Big scope on it. Went with 3D printed what's called a kill flash. So that's that kind of hexagon there, and that's just, again, sunshade kill flash. You're not going to get the reflections off the scope. And then this little adapter here to put a cool bipod on it. So really cool looking sniper style blaster. I've shot it a little bit just, of course, to test it, and it is, you know, it's getting some nice FPS. So check back for that demo so you can see that FPS and just see how this guy shoots. So again, EMERBU, go see them on Amazon now, completely redesigned. They have some cool new blasters too. They're also going to have a really nice G36 that's going to be all, you know, upgraded as well. That'll be out eventually. So check them out. Check out X-Force Tac USA for all the accessories. And of course, please, any comments or questions, post them below. Like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and participate in those monthly giveaways. Thanks for your support.